Morning, guys. Quick video on the markets and specifically on options and specifically on selling options. So, as you can see, right from the market's dropped quite a bit from its peak. I'm not saying it's a lot, right? It's only a few percentage, but then it feels like it's a lot, right? Nvidia dropped some 20 some dollars, SoFi dropped $4 or $5, Robinhood dropped 20 or so dollars, Palantir dropped I think 30 or so dollars or something like that, and everyone is freaking out. So quick touch on margin. Do be careful of margin, especially at the peak, right? Especially when you shouldn't be in that much margin in general, right? Like I feel like a lot of people, even if you wanted to hold, some people got sold out. Some people got margin called already, right? So you have to be careful with that. And that's how they get you. They stop loss hunt, and then when they trigger stop loss and they sell it to you at super cheap prices, that's when people that are shorting the stock, that's when institutions that are purposely shorting the stock, they find stock to buy and they buy that up to keep for themselves. That's how they screw retail over. But specifically, I want to talk about options, and I feel like recently options have been like every influencer and their mom is talking about options and how you can farm yield if you for a $20 stock, if you sell a $20 put, then you get 20% return, or you get like 15% return within a week. Everything has an option. Everything has a risk. Okay, like I don't want people are telling you that selling calls has no risk, selling puts has no risk. It seems like in a bear market, everyone tells you selling calls has no risk. In a bull market, everyone tells you selling puts has no risk. There is a risk, right? Because it's all fun and games until the market turns on you, and then you get caught holding the bag, right? When I see some influencers telling you like on SoFi, you should sell. Back when it was like, back when it was I think $20, right? People were telling you, you should sell $25 puts on SoFi, and then when it goes to $26, you made $4 on $25. You made you made some crazy percent. You made more than 10% within 2 weeks or something like that. When you are selling a put, when you're encouraging people to sell puts on something above the stock prices, on in the money options, that's you get screwed. Yeah, it works when it works, it's great. When it works, it's wonderful. You make a ton of money. But when it doesn't, you're holding the bag. Okay? Now, the market just turned a little bit, right? It dropped like a few percent. It's not that much, but people that were encouraged to sell these ridiculous in the money options, specifically puts in this case, which are quote unquote free money, right? There is a risk. I made a video about this before. Selling up, just because you're selling a call doesn't mean there's no risk. Just because you're selling a put doesn't mean there's no risk, right? In a bear market, it feels like there's no risk for the longest time, and then you sell it, and then the market turns on you, and then now you missed out on let's see, for ASTS, how much did I miss on? Like 30x. That was my risk, right? And the same thing for puts, right? If you're selling a put, let's say you sold a $200 put on Nvidia, it's at 180 something now. Yeah, you could keep holding it, you could roll, but it doesn't mean that there's no risk, right? You're still left holding the bag of buying something that you could have bought $20 cheaper. There is a risk, right? And I just want to highlight that because it's so important. People forget in a bull market, people forget there are risks to stocks, right? There are risks to all these different assets. So yeah, that's it. Just be careful when you're selling options. I see data. I see there's a subreddit for specifically selling options, right? With Data Gang. You see some of the comments there, and just like you're risking so much for like 10 cents. Yes, while it works, it works great, and then it doesn't, and then you're screwed. You just be careful, okay? Just be careful selling options. Otherwise, I still have the same thesis as my last video, talking about how I believe that the market is still, it's just a slight correction, right? And as long as you're not forced to sell at prices you don't want to sell at, then you'll be fine, right? Just in my opinion, right? My opinion, that's what I believe. And not personalized financial advice, but as long as as long as you are financially stable, you still have money to do your everyday things, and you're not being forced to do anything by a bank, right? If they sell you out or anything, or by a brokerage if they sell you out, then I think that the stock market is just going to continuously go up, right? If you short term, yes, it's scary, right? It dropped, as I said before, Palantir dropped $30, Nvidia dropped probably $30 by now. Look at Supermicro, or not Supermicro. Yeah, Supermicro dropped $60. Now it's $39, $20. Like, look at MicroStrategy, that dropped like $200. But just be careful, stay out of debt, and in my opinion, excuse me. In my opinion, I'm just gonna keep investing and looking for opportunities. That's it. I don't know. Bye. Be careful. Don't take on too much risk. Have a good day.